You know, the financial world, it's stepping into a brand new era, and it's all about bringing tangible, physical things onto the blockchain. We're talking about the world of real-world assets. And honestly, it might be one of the most important shifts happening in finance right now. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's just start with a simple question. That coffee you might be drinking right now, what if you could trade its value instantly, around the clock, 24/7, just like you trade crypto? Sounds a little like science fiction, right? Well,
It's not. You can. This is the whole idea behind a massive shift that's happening as we speak. So welcome to the world of real-world assets, or as you'll hear them called, RWAs.
All right, so let's get right to the basics. What exactly are real-world assets, and more importantly, why should you care? We're about to see how two very different worlds are being bridged together.
At its core, the concept is actually pretty simple. A real-world asset, an RWA, is really just any physical or traditional asset that gets a kind of digital twin, a token that lives on the blockchain. So think of it like taking real, tangible stuff and making it digitally native.
And the scope here, it's absolutely enormous. We're not just talking about one or two things. This could be your house, gold bars, government bonds, even agricultural stuff like wheat or, coffee. The possibilities are just huge.
and here's the key takeaway, the most crucial point. The blockchain itself is that digital bridge. It's what connects the centuries-old traditional financial markets with this new, always-on, 24/7 global world of crypto.
Now, to make this feel a little less abstract, let's look at a case study we can all wrap our heads around: coffee. Let's see how it goes from being in your cup to living on the blockchain.
So why coffee, of all things? Well, turns out it's a perfect candidate. For one, it's one of the most traded commodities on the entire planet. Everybody wants it, so there's stable global demand. But its price is also pretty volatile, you know? Things like weather and climate change really affect it. And that volatility, well, that creates all sorts of trading opportunities.
So the way it works is super direct. One single digital token on the blockchain can represent a specific, verifiable amount of actual coffee sitting in a secure warehouse somewhere. This creates this direct, provable link between the digital token in your wallet and the physical beans.
So we know what it is, but how does this actually change the game for traders and investors? Let's take a look at the new rules of trading this whole thing creates. And it's a fair question, right? Why bother moving trading from Wall Street to the blockchain? I mean, the traditional system has worked for a very long time, so what's the point?
Well, the answer becomes pretty obvious when you put them side by side. Traditional markets, they're basically 9 to 5. The blockchain is 24/7, global. Traditional trading needs brokers and all these middlemen. Blockchain lets you trade directly with another person. And settlement? That can take days in the old world. On-chain, it's nearly instant. So long story short, this new system just rips down barriers and offers global access and liquidity like never before. It's a fundamental upgrade.
Now, this isn't some kind of magic wand. The system has its own unique features. The prices for these tokens are tied to the real-world markets using special data feeds called oracles. You can think of them as secure bridges for information. This means you're not just trading on crypto hype, you're trading on real-world signals, like actual crop reports. It's also worth knowing that, just like any new market, there can be liquidity gaps. You know, moments where it might be a little harder to buy or sell instantly.
So how are people actually investing in this stuff? Well, a few main strategies are popping up. First, you've got your long-term holders, people who are betting that global demand is just going to keep going up. Then you have the short-term traders, the ones who are playing those daily price swings. And third, you have a really interesting one, arbitrage, where traders profit from tiny price differences between the on-chain token and the traditional futures market. These different strategies really show you how investors are already thinking about this market. And that's because this is so much bigger than just coffee. We are talking about a potential trillion-dollar trend that could seriously reshape the future of finance.
And look, this isn't some short-term fad. Experts are seeing a pretty clear growth path here. For the next 5 to 10 years, we're in this phase of intense growth and innovation. After that, we expect to see widespread institutional adoption start to kick in. And then long-term, we could see this tech get fully integrated into our everyday traditional banking systems.
And if you want to put a number on that potential, analysts are projecting the RWA market could eventually reach a staggering $16 trillion. Let that sink in. This isn't a niche market. This is a fundamental reshaping of global finance. So if you only remember a few things, what should they be? First, real-world assets are one of the biggest, most powerful trends in crypto today.
Second, tokenizing things like coffee creates brand new ways to trade and invest. And finally, at the end of the day, this technology is all about making traditional assets way more accessible to everyone everywhere.
And really, this is just the beginning. We're seeing it with coffee and gold and bonds, but the potential is so much bigger. So I'll just leave you with this question. What's an everyday asset in your life that you think will be the next to make that leap onto the blockchain? Thanks for tuning in.